Seneca Falls Convention, July 19th and 20th, 1848. It was the first women's rights convention. Frederick Douglass attended the convention along with 40 other men. Elizabeth Cady Stanton read the Declaration of Sentiments to the convention. The convention started the women's suffrage movement in the U.S.
National Women's Convention. The National Women's Convention was held in 1848. It concluded in Worcester for 2 days. More than 1,000 delegates from 11 different states had filled Brindley Hall. They demanded the right to vote, to own property, and to be admitted to higher education. It took 70 years, long after it died, before American women won the right to vote.
Women's National Loyal League, January 1st, 1863. Founded by Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony after Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863. Frustrated from limitations, they got 500,000 signatures on petitions demanding Congress to pass an act emancipating all persons of African American descent held to involuntary service or labor in the United States. Senator Sumner thanked the group for being responsible for the effort of the 13th Amendment after getting a collection of signed petitions in February 1864.
Lucy Stone was important because she helped put on the first National Women's Rights Convention in Worcester, Massachusetts in 1950 to fight for women's rights and suffrage. She also helped support numerous local organizations and helped found the American Women's Suffrage Association. She worked to get women equal pay and reform society to allow women to wear what they want. Lucy protested for women's rights in everything she did. Even in marriage, she chose to keep her maiden name as a form of protest.
Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Suzette La Flèche. She was born in 1854 in Omaha Reservation, Nebraska. She became involved with the people's struggles for justice. Therefore, she undertook a lecture tour of the eastern U.S., which eventually made its way to the Dawes Act, which allowed the president to survey American Indian tribal land. Soon after her tour, they were granted land without survey, therefore helping other women to stand up for what they believe in. She later died May 26 in 1903 in Bancroft, Nebraska.
Susan B. Anthony, 1820 to 1906. She was lifelong friends with Elizabeth Cady Stanton and founded the Women's Loyal National League. They also founded the National American Women's Suffrage Association. Anthony was arrested in 1872 for voting in her hometown. Anthony and Stanton presented an amendment to Congress in 1878 to give women the right to vote. The Anthony Amendment was passed in 1920 as the 19th Amendment to the Constitution.
Earlier in Victoria's life, she fought for an easier divorce for women trapped in toxic relationships. Later on, she ran for president as the first woman to be put on the ballot. In 1872, and nominated Frederick Douglass in an attempt to unify the causes in their new Equal Rights Party.
She stirred strong emotions in audiences
from
the 1840s to her death in
1902.
She got her first start in Seneca Falls when she organized the 1848
She did not find any success in running later in life either.
Then in 1863, her and Susan B. Anthony, who was a very famous suffragette, created the Women's Loyal National League, gathering around 400,000 signatures on a petition. Her most famous speech was called Our Girls, urging girls to get an education. She later died on October 26, 1902.
The 19th Amendment, August 18, 1920. It granted citizens the right to vote no matter what gender you were. The amendment was made because of the women's suffrage movement. It overruled the court case Minor v. Happersett, where the Supreme Court ruled that the 14th Amendment did not give women the right to vote.